Hey there. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that's so important for childhood development: occupational therapy. We're going to break down exactly what it is, who it's for, and most importantly, how it actually works. Let's get into it.
So let's start with a big question. Think about it. For a little kid, the world is this huge, amazing place, full of things to discover. But what happens when the basics, like holding a crayon or just dealing with everyday sounds, feel like giant hurdles? What really helps a child get a handle on their world?
And that question, well, that's where occupational therapy, or OT, comes in. So first things first, let's define what we're actually talking about. What does OT really mean when it comes to helping kids thrive?
Okay, at its very core, occupational therapy is all about helping kids build the skills they need for their everyday lives. It's about function, it's about independence, and really, it's about empowerment.
Now I know when you hear the word occupation, you probably think of a job, right? But for a toddler, their main occupation is playing, learning, and exploring. So things like eating, dressing, or just grabbing a toy, these aren't just small things. They are the fundamental work of being a kid. They're the building blocks for literally everything that comes next. So how can you tell if a child might need a little extra support in these areas? In this next part, we're going to look at some of the key areas where challenges often pop up and where therapy can make a huge difference.
Therapy often zooms in on two really critical areas. On one side, you've got fine motor skills. We're talking about those small, precise movements with hands and fingers, for things like buttoning a shirt or holding a pencil. And on the other side, you have sensory processing. This is a big one. It's all about how a child's brain takes in and makes sense of the world. All the sights, the sounds, the textures.
And those sensory challenges can show up in a lot of different ways. Maybe a child is super sensitive to the tag on their shirt or the sound of a blender. Or maybe they have a tough time focusing on a task or seem to struggle with balance and coordination. These are all clues that OT could be a really helpful tool.
Now, all of this might be sounding a little serious or clinical, but the way OT actually works with kids is, well, it's the total opposite. Let's get into how it all happens, because it's built around something every kid is an expert at: play.
And this is the magic of it, right here. OT for kids isn't about drills or work, it's guided play. You see, from a brain science perspective, play is how we're wired to learn best. It's fun, it's low pressure, and it lets a child build new skills without even realizing they're working on something. They're just having a good time.
And there's a really smart process behind all this fun. It all starts with the therapist really getting to know the child's unique strengths and challenges. This is never a one-size-fits-all thing. Then, they design these fun activities that are secretly targeting specific skills. It's a step-by-step process where every little success helps build the confidence to tackle the next one.
And the benefits are so much bigger than just learning to hold a crayon. As kids succeed in these little play challenges, they build real, genuine confidence. And when they feel more capable and in control, that can lead to better behavior and, piece by piece, it helps them become more independent.
Okay, that brings us to our last section. And honestly, this might be the most important part of the whole conversation. The journey of development is all about perspective. It's about patience and understanding what progress really looks like.
This is something we all need to hear, I think. It is so easy to get caught up in milestones and checklists, but we have to remember that every single child is on their own unique timeline. There's no single right way to develop.
Exactly. And progress is almost never a perfect straight line. It takes time, and that is perfectly okay. Development is a lot more like a dance than a race. There are steps forward, maybe a few steps sideways, but the most important thing is that consistent rhythm of love and support.
I really want to let this quote sink in because it's just so true. Because every little step is a big progress. It's about celebrating the small wins, holding on to a toy for a second longer, trying a new food texture. Those aren't little things, they're huge. So, what's the secret sauce for success? It's all about teamwork. It takes a whole lot of patience, a whole lot of consistency, and a really strong partnership between parents, caregivers, and therapists all working together.
And let's keep our eyes on the prize. At the end of the day, all of this effort, all of this play, it's all about one thing: giving a child the tools they need to navigate their world more easily and ultimately to live a happier, more confident life.
So we'll leave you with this to think about because it really wraps everything up. When we stop focusing on a rigid schedule
and instead pour in patience and support, how much more can we do to unlock a child's incredible, unique potential? Thanks so much for tuning in.